Hi, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. I'm Kathy Ondas, and today is Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. It is a day that I'm not usually with you. I am usually with you Monday and Thursday evenings, but I had to postpone last night's to today. Thank you for understanding. Today, I have a fun card. We're going to use the beautiful butterflies bundle. It includes the stamp set. We're not going to stamp the butterflies today. We're mostly going to use the embossing folder and the dies. And it includes a hybrid embossing folder, which both embosses and die cuts at the same time. So I'm excited to show that all to you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you found me. I hope you'll like what you see and hit that subscribe button. And if you're with me live or you catch the replay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. It's the first time I'm back with you over a week. My husband had some surgery and I've been taking care of him. And today is the first time I've been back in my craft room for a week. So let's flip this camera down. I have lots to show you and we're going to get started. Okay, the bundle we're using is from the mini catalog and it is on page 39. It includes the beautiful butterflies, and again, it includes the embossing folder and die sets. And we're going to be using this beautiful Bokeh 6x6 Designer Series paper. Now, there's so many possibilities with this bundle that this is just one of them. And we're going to use this again several times. But let me show it to you. This is going to is a photopolymer stamp set with, you have the large butterfly and you also have somewhere you can make some detailed colors to the wings. You have some small butterflies here and lots of sentiments, all different fonts, which I really love. We're going to be using the happy birthday today. And let me show you the dies because I really want to show you how to use some of these. This is one we'll use in another video, show you how to make a butterfly card that's shaped like that. You have the little bodies for these different butterflies. You get two of these small ones. This cuts out the stamped butterfly, as does this one. And then you have a large detailed one, and you even have some for your sentiments. So let me show you a couple things with this. But first, I want to show you the Designer Series paper. We're using beautiful Bokeh. And you may have seen, I did a video a while back, how to create your own Bokeh paper. This is just beautiful. And I'll put a link to that, to this video. But this has 6 different Designer Series papers. We're going to be using this one today. I am going to show you a card using this one. And if you turn these over, you have like some bokeh but splatter. So really pretty colors. So let's get started. So what I want to show you is we are using, let's do our card base. We are using a 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. Now you can certainly use 5 1/4 or 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. Either way will work. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this and burnish it on my score line. And I am going to bring in my bone folder to do that. Now, I thought I wanted to have this card really pop. So to do that, I'm using some basic black layers. So when making this card, and I do have the tutorial done, and will be posted no later than tomorrow, but most likely later this evening. You're going to need 3 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4. One is for your front layer. One is for the inside, and we're going to use one to cut our butterflies out. We're also going to use a piece of designer series paper for the front. And this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I know lots of you don't like eighths, and I apologize. If you really don't like it, go to 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. The reason I wanted that little bit extra is I wanted to capture as much of the embossing, because I'm actually going to emboss the designer series paper this time instead of the cardstock. So let's go ahead and I want to show you a couple things with the embossing folder. So let's set these off, because once we do all this, that card is going to go together pretty quick. So I'm going to bring in the embossing folder and show you, in case you're not familiar with what a hybrid embossing folder is. So this is the beautiful butterflies one, and you can see you have a large butterfly in the center, and you have several small butterflies and portions of butterflies. I want to make the butterfly more so in the center, maybe off to the side a little bit. So I'm going to use basic white to show you how to use a hybrid folder. Then I'm going to use just the folder for my card. So when you're using a hybrid folder, you're going to have your piece of paper. I typically will put mine on the back side. The front of your folder always has the Stampin' Up logo. And you want to position it where you want your focal point or where you want your butterfly. So I'm going to put mine, to show you this, right in the center. And then to cut that butterfly out, you're going to take this large die, and it kind of snaps right in there. You're going to lay it down. And then I'm simply going to bring my paper over, and you can reposition it. You can see where the butterfly is from the back. And I'm going to go ahead and emboss this, and we're going to die cut it out. So let's scoot this over just a little bit. I'm going to move it right along that black line, and we're ready to go. So you are going to put this in always with your fold going into your embossing folder. And you're going to emboss this just like you would a 3D. So I'm going to use plate 1, plate 4, and I have my cut and emboss machine right next to me. So I'm going to run it through quickly here. And you might hear some clicking because it's going to snap most likely. Oh, it didn't. Okay, let's take our plates off. And let me show you how this worked. So you now have this beautiful embossed die cut butterfly that you can use on your card. And you do have the rest of these that you could fussy cut. None of the dies really fit on these, but that is how you use your hybrid embossing folder. So let me put this back over here, get that out of the way. Now remember, I said for my card, I was going to make just an embossed layer. And I want my butterfly, I want it to kind of come off a little bit. And my card is going to be a portrait card. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my butterfly, and he's too big for this layer, but I'm going to go ahead and position this more back towards the very back and line that up. And I'm going to run this through without the dies, and it's strictly going to emboss. So with this, again, just as you would a 3D embossing folder, you're going to put it onto plate 1, grab plate number 4, and let's run it through. There's that little click. All right, so here's our embossed layer, and I really love the different colors in that. Hopefully you can see the texture that you have. So this is going to, in a little bit, lay down on here. But what I want to do to really bring this butterfly to life is I want to add a black die cut to it. So what am I going to do? Well, we're going to grab one of our black 4x5 1/4, and I want to show you some tricks for using these dies. So we're going to add this, I guess this way was it. And I want to be able to do 2 die cuts now because I want to show you 2 ways to use this. So I'm going to use this large one, and I'm going to take this large detailed one, and I'm just going to put it right in here and line it up so that I have a little bit of an edge all the way around that butterfly. And that looks pretty good right about there. So I am going to take a piece of tape to secure it because you can see it kind of will move around. So let's do one here. And I'm going to put another little piece of a low tack tape right here. Now, I also want to die cut 2 small butterflies. So let's do that. And I'm going to run this through. Now for this, we're going to use plate 1. We're also going to use plate number 2. And then 2 of the number 3 plates. And I'm just going to pick this up, reposition these little ones because they slid, put a number 3 plate on top, and I'm going to run this through. And I'm right here next to you. And bring this back. And we have 2 little butterfly die cuts, and the little pieces will pop out here. And then we have this big die cut. Now, this is what I wanted to really show you. I do have all of these cut out already, but I thought it was important to show you some options that you have with this large butterfly. So let's take this off. Now, when you use the 2 butterflies, you actually get this large outline or silhouette for the large one. And I'm going to show you a couple things you can do with that. And then you also have this very detailed die cut from this detailed butterfly. And that is going to look exactly like this. So there are your 2 die cuts. So let me put these off to the side, and we're going to get busy crafting. So remember I said I wanted to add some layer or dimension to kind of bring that butterfly to life. Well, I'm going to first go ahead and add this embossed layer to my designer series paper. So let's go ahead and do that. Hi, Victoria. Thanks for joining in. And I tend to use multi-purpose glue when I emboss because you lose some surface area to your paper. And I just feel I can get it in the cracks and crevices and get it to adhere a little bit better. Now remember, this isn't cut in 1/8, so you're going to have a very thin border, which is what I was going for because I just wanted a little bit to pop. Okay, so there's that. Now, couple things you can do with these die cuts. One would be to simply take your black outline, adhere it around that embossed butterfly, and then trim it off, okay? The other one is to take your detailed and go ahead and adhere it over your embossed butterfly. It does not fit perfectly, but what I like about this is that it picks up the embossed areas and just gives you a lot of texture, and so it's really pretty. So what we're going to do is I think I'm going to use this one because I have another card to show you where I used this detailed die. So I'm going to go ahead, and you could use your adhesive sheets to get this to stick, but I find that for me the glue worked better. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use my glue gun. This is a Sweet Petunia. I love this because I can add glue and very small amounts, and it just adheres well and it's not messy. So if you have a bottle with a fine tip glue pen, go ahead and use that. That will work just as well. I don't do anything neat. I get glue everywhere and on my hands, so this works great for me. And I'm just adding a little bit around the perimeter of this butterfly. All right, I'm going to set that off and pick this up. And I'm going to outline my butterfly with this silhouette. Now, you could have added this before you adhered this to the designer series paper, but I'm okay. I'm just going to trim it off. Now, you want to give it a good press. And then I'm going to take my snips, which are right here, and simply trim that away. So I'm going to come up here and trim that, and you can turn it over and trim it too. And we've got that. Okay. Now, if you were using, and I'll show you this in a little bit, if you were using this die cut, there is a body that you can add to this butterfly to extend it so it fits this large embossed one a little bit better. So let's go ahead and adhere this, and we're going to add some of those small die cuts of butterflies. So let's add this to the front. Now here you're going to get a little bit more of a border because the black is 4 by 5 1/4, which is pretty much what I was looking for. Now here's our little butterfly, and I want to add them. If you can see this, right here is the butterfly, but there isn't any real detail to it. So I'm going to take my butterfly and I'm just going to curl his little wings just ever so slightly. And then add some glue along the body, and I'm going to add them right here. Okay. Now I do have a second butterfly if you would want to add it up here and trim it off, but I'm going to leave it with maybe just the 2. And well, let's try it. Let's see what we do here. I'm going to, again, curl my wings a little bit. All right. I'm going to add just a little bit here. Okay. And then I'm going to come back in with my snips. And because those wings are flipped up a little bit, this is going to be really easy to trim. And then I'm going to glue those edges down. I did put glue there. And then just this part can sit up a little bit. So here is our front. Now, if you want to give a little bit more distinction to this body, you can go ahead and add the body, the die cut body from this large butterfly. But I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I kind of like it like that. So let's add our sentiment. I did that ahead of time. And what I did is I stamped the happy birthday with Versamark. And then I heat embossed it with using the Wow white embossing powder. And I just want this to sit right under here. So we're going to trim this down a little bit. And hopefully I'll do this straight. And let's trim this one down too. All right, I am going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this up. And then we're going to add some gems to the front of our card. We are going to do the inside and stamp a sentiment for that. Okay, so let's get rid of this little piece. And I'm going to go ahead and line that up right on the edge there. I want it to clear my small butterfly. Let's move that over just a little bit. All right. So let's do our inside. For the inside, I have another layer of basic black and I have basic white. So I am going to stamp a sentiment. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to trim this down to 3 3/4 by 5. So let me grab my trimmer. Let's do 3 3/4 and 5. Now for this, I thought to add a couple little butterflies cut out of the Designer Series paper would look really cute with that. So I'm going to stamp my greeting first. I'm going to use the Time to Celebrate, and this is from the stamp set. It's nice, bold print, and since it is a birthday, it is a good time to celebrate. Now, one of the tricks that I use is before I had my glass mat, I did use grid paper to line up my stamps. Again, I don't do anything straight. So I'm using the Time to line it up, and then I'm just going to pop this down and pick it straight up. And we're going to go ahead and use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I'm also going to grab my piercing mat because it is a photopolymer stamp. I feel I get a nicer stamped image. And I do want to show you a trick with this because I know this isn't going to ink well. I've not used this yet. So one of the things you can do to make sure that you get better coverage of a new ink is take this soft white eraser and just go over the stamp. It removes some of that, whatever is on there for manufacturing. And then go ahead and ink this up. And you can see we got really very good coverage on this. And I'm going to hold this hopefully straight, and just stamp right in the center. Okay. I'm going to turn that over and restamp that. All right. Because I did move my hand and re-ink. Victoria, you are with me then. I don't do much of anything straight. I have to really use my tools to help me. So again, I'm going to stamp down and come up. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and adhere this onto our basic black. There's always two sides to every piece of cardstock, and I do use it. And we're going to go ahead and just adhere this down. All right. Now I want to add a couple little butterflies, and I did say that I had cut them out of the designer series paper. I really like the color. And these I'm just going to adhere down flat. I'm not going to roll the wings because they're on the inside of the card and they're going to get flattened out anyway. So let's add one here. And you're still going to have plenty of room to write and sign your card. And then I'm going to add one up towards the top. And just a little bit of glue. Little dab will do ya. And let's go ahead and put him here. All right, let's add this to the inside, and then we're going to add our gems. So easy card. I know it seems like a lot, but I think it was more because I was showing how to use the hybrid embossing folder. And I think there's just so many different things you can do with this bundle that I really love it. And we may actually use it again on Thursday using the stamps. Yep. And have some fun with that. So here's the inside. Now to decorate, give it a little pop, I'm going to use my adhesive back sparkle gems. And I'm going to use the clear ones. So I'm going to grab my pick tool and I'm going to take a small one and I'm going to place it right here on the body part of that the two little ones. And then I'm going to take a large one and place that right here. And here's our card. So really pretty card. Now let me show you the other one where I used the large detail die cut. I did the same thing. I did not add the third butterfly here, so you can see the difference. But with this detailed one, I overlaid it right over the embossed. And when you're embossing and using a darker color like this Calypso Coral compared to the Daffodil, and I think that's Blue Sky, you get some almost like a little bit of, if you were to take a low sandpaper and rub off on the embossed area, you would get a little bit of a, oh, I can't think of the word I want to use, but it gives you a little bit different texture. And I just overlaid that on there, and I thought they both came out really pretty. So, for the inside of this one, I took another piece of that designer series paper that was embossed and just trimmed it down and added it to a strip of black. So let me bring you back to me. I hope you enjoyed seeing how to use the dies and that hybrid embossing folder to make cards using the beautiful butterflies. It really is, I think, lots of options to use with that stamp set and embossing folder. I will have the tutorial posted. The link to the tutorial will be in my YouTube video description, either at the very latest tomorrow morning, may even be there tonight. And feel free to download. It has measurements, supplies, and written instructions to remake these cards. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel. Feel free to share the video. And I hope you have a great Wednesday, and I will be back with you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Goodbye, everybody.